I believe. Charo Knight, 29 health. All right, so a little below average. Fire Mastery. Now with Fire, my belief on Mountain is Fire is damage, Mountain is defense and heal, Crystal is support, which you're going to find a lot if you look at almost any of the alignments. The three they have set up. I'll try and do this in the camera so it's actually like station-wise. I'm not sure if my camera's oriented right now. I'm trying to think right now. Okay, so Fire, anything that's on the left is your damage. Anything in the middle is your defense, your healing, all that stuff. Anything on the right of the hero is your support, like Crystal, like Shadow, like Gravity, all the stuff we've gone through already. It is where you're going to find those essential aspects. So that information from me might help you understand how to include weapons in your deck, might understand deck building if you didn't know that already, and you're just like, wow, that's pretty interesting to look at. Just from what I've seen. Kindred might change all that. For all I know, that's just my essential on the cards. So already having him be Fire Mastery tells me he's a more aggressive player. His ability is not an ability, it's a base one. Love it. Perfect. I love those base consistent abilities. When you play a fire card, you remove one of your fire buffs to deal 1 damage to your target and heal yourself for 1. This cannot be increased by effects. Already, consistent ability that utilizes cards that have been played, have done their use. Play more stuff, remove them, get a 2-point swing. Fine. It's not an ability where it actually wastes a turn. It's a bonus ability. So I think this card already right now might be 3.5 star just from that ability. Because think about it, if you're playing a very fire heavy deck, you want that damage from your fire cards, and then to get additional even 1 damage out of it, but a 2-point swing out of your cards that have already been used, like Draga Scorcher. Put Draga Scorcher out. Next turn, hits for 6. It's done its thing. It's good. It's golden. Doesn't matter. Play a fire card. Play a fire bat. Kill off Draga Scorcher. Use its. It's off the board. Bada bing, bada boom. Done. Throw it away for one damage, 1 healing. Now you've healed. You've healed. So you can use the what is it? Rock Rager, or the one that's if you heal deals 6 damage instead of 3. Like that. Just doing stuff like that can be some major swing plays. That's 5 from fire, or 5 from flame bat, 6 from the Draga Scorcher rotating out, 1 damage for it. So technically Draga Scorcher did 7, healed you for 1. The other card, I can't think of Rock Rager or Rock, I can't, names are bad, but I know what I'm talking about. 3 damage, you've been healed, deal an additional 3. That's another 6 points of damage. So that's like 18 points of damage just with those 3 cards, just in a back-to-back turn, in a normal deck that you're already doing that turn anyway. So like you don't have to lay a Crystal Bat to heal. You don't have to do other things to make you heal. So, I mean, just having that ability alone is going to be a very good ability. Having him be 29 health makes it so that his ability heals you for 1 minuscule damage, so it's fine. You don't have to be at 30, but it's beneficial to at least get healed. So maybe starting at a lower health is better for it, so that you always know you're going to get healed, because maybe you're playing those slow decks or mill decks that everyone hurts. And you need to be at a lower health to utilize those chip heals to get that additional damage in, so you don't want to heal for too much. So yeah, he's 3.5. He's not even he's a common hero. I think he's very worth the crafting, even if you didn't pull him from a pack, which I'm sure everyone has like 15 of these because they're $1 a dozen. But I think he's a very solid card for a fire deck, which I want to see more of. I want to see people play fire, because I think the new elemental stuff that fire has, or that Mountain has in its order, is really going to add a lot to the game, because they have, I want to say they have elemental, they have location, and they might have like some Creeble stuff, I don't know. But I mean, those are the 2 big ones for Mountain that they get this Kindred set. So building an elemental deck is mostly going to be fire, in my opinion. So having him come in to play a fire deck or an elemental deck could be really good. I think he's just a really solid staple for any deck that's going to play fire. So he's right in the mid-ground, possibly even better than the mid-ground, because he just helps out. He's really good. If you don't have the proper hero, you don't have one of the rare heroes that does something explosive to the game, having him be a filler hero until you get that card is going to be good. Even if once you have that card, this guy's still going to be good. Consistent buff damage, or consistent ability damage, you don't have to activate to spend half your turn doing. Just adds to cards that you're already laying. He's a solid card, solid hero. I personally think this is a well-designed card. 3.5, in my opinion. Cinder Branch. This is the one Mountain gets from their starter deck. So already 31 health, Fire Master. Like I said, Fire is going to be a lot of fun. I hope this guy has another 5-star card without looking at the ability, but already he's solid right off the bat. Ability: 2 damage to your target if you have played a fire card this turn. This cannot be increased by effects. Wow. I was hoping he'd be a little more impactful. His ability is only 2 damage. It is conditional. I mean, that's he's not even as good as the other fire one, is he? Like, in my opinion, he's... It's kind of sad. Cinderbranch is the starter for the deck, and I was hoping to be something a little better. But, he's just not. I mean, Charnokite, or whatever, Charno Knight, or whatever you want to, however I typed it, I honestly think is a better fire hero than this guy. Because, I mean, with his ability, Fire Supremacy, you want to be able to lay 2 fire cards a turn. But this is just, when you lay a fire card, you can deal 2 damage. So already you have to lay a card your turn before you can use the ability in the first place. Ability only deals 2 damage. Like, I don't care that you have 31 health. You could have 35 for all I care. I've said it before, an ability that only deals 2 damage is not a good ability. It does nothing. It's very unimpactful. It's very meh. Because, I mean, there are cards out there that just have deal 1 damage when you do something along with it, like Charno Knight. So it's a bonus damage. This is 2 damage that you have to activate half of your turn to do. Play Fusion, why? Why did you make a starter hero after all those other ones that I just reviewed be so non-impactful? The art form is awesome. He's even got a sword. Like, he should be more of a knight than Charno Knight. Like, well, he's more of a samurai, but still, like, I want to say this guy is even a 1.5 hero. Like, he's just not good. I mean, especially just from the other cards that I've seen in the past from Mythical and Awakening, when you lay fire cards, you want to lay fire cards in continuous action. Flame Burrower is going to be a broken card come fire when Kindred drops, because, okay, like, I Flame Bat, then I lay Fire Burrower, I get to return Flame Bat to my hand because I laid a fire card the last turn. Like, stuff like that is going to make you want to use multiple fire cards. This guy is just, like, he gave us supremacy over an element that we want to use, and then an ability to negate ever wanting that supremacy. It's just... I mean, if he had supremacy over another element, I'd say sure. But with this, unless there are cards out there that I'm missing that gives you, like, 3 actions in a turn, or when you lay a fire card, get an additional action, something like that, unless I'm missing something from Kindred, he's just not impactful. His ability is only 2 damage, it's conditional, you have to do it second, so it's not like you can even do it first to get past those damage prevention ones. He's a hero that a lot of people are probably going to take out of the starter deck and replace with a more common hero, unfortunately. I mean, I really want Mountain to do well. I want to play a Mountain deck that's a very element-strong base, because I feel Fire is going to be a much more fun element to play over Mountain and Crystal like it has been in the past, where those two have been the dominant ones for Mountain in any retrospect, because the Crystal was also dealing damage while supporting. Fire didn't really have that big of a role other than just, 6 or 5 damage, and I feel like now Fire is getting more of a support role too, where it can increase all this fun stuff to deal with Fire, and it just, yeah, Cinderbranch, it doesn't excite me. It doesn't make me want to, unfortunately, go out and buy the Mountain starter deck just for this hero. This card is just not good. It's not impactful. I still recommend, obviously, buying the starter deck and just replacing the hero with Charno Knight, because Charno Knight could be a better fire hero. -2 health, but his ability is consistent. If you're laying a lot of fire stuff, it's poke damage for 1, heal for 1, so it's still a 2-point swing that you utilize without having to spend the ability. Like, it's Cinderbranch is I keep repeating, it's just not good, not impactful. I would have loved to see maybe 3 damage. I would have loved to see maybe you lay 2 fire cards in a turn, deal 2 damage, something like that, where it's not an ability you have to activate, but something where it wants his supremacy to be used. And in this one, using the ability cancels out the entire effect of having the supremacy. Like I said, I haven't looked at Kindred. I don't know if there's cards out there that say, hey, when you lay a fire card, get an additional action. If you lay an element, get an additional action, so you can actually utilize the ability. But it's just... it's not impactful. It's not good. It's not going to be a used card, which is sad, because that means that Dolo is still going to be supreme in Fire or in Mountain as a starter hero, and I was really hoping that we'd have something to compete with him. So yeah, let's go to the next card. Edda of the Depths, 30 health, Mountain Mastery, solid. Makes me want to think this is more of a tanky late game card. Ability: remove one of your location buffs to deal 4 damage to another hero. This cannot be increased by effects. Already, I can tell this card is already like a 4 to 4.5 point or 4.5 star card. Like I said with the Dread starter deck hero, remove one of your shadow or one of your death buffs to deal 3 damage. Anything that could just pitch cards away like Cassini did is just going to be amazing. There are a lot of location cards just in the past sets for Mountain. Mountain Fort was one of them that is now a location card. Sorry, and that's just, with a big one that everyone played. Obviously, there's the Crystalline Altar. That's just probably not the Colossi Ritual Site. That's the one I'm thinking of, which is now a location card for Crystal. Once it's done its damage increase for the one card you want to use it for, pitch it to deal 4 damage. Like, this card is going to be amazing, and this card might actually be why I saw so many people vote location as its best buff, like as the top family to run, just because of this hero. And I really think that this hero could make your defensive location cards be that extra pitch damage that you need from your defensive cards to also push for damage. So you can utilize your damage cards while utilizing your defense to then use your defense as damage to continue to push further. Yeah, this is a 4.5 star card. I think this deck is going to be. It's a hero that you build a deck around. It's not a hero that you put into a deck that's already built. But its ability is so impactful on the game, so impactful for late game, so impactful for mid game, that this deck is. I feel like locations are going to be really good just because of this hero. I highly recommend getting this hero. I'd love to build a deck around this hero. I think one of my friends is currently building a deck or working a deck around this hero. I've only seen it been played once. He's probably reworked it several times since then. But like, just having that ability to deal 4 damage with an ability, not 3 but 4, and if your deck is all location cards, like, that's 4 damage a turn. If you really want to start pitching your stuff away, like, it's, you have Mountain Fort. Say you have Mountain Fort last corner, your opponent has a Mantic Swarm. You're like, okay, well, this thing's just gonna do me nothing, prevent me from 1 damage next turn. I'm gonna pitch it to put 4 damage in his face. I'll take the 1 damage. I don't care. Like, 1 damage, that's not that beneficial if it's just going to kill a card that I could get 4 damage to their face. Like, thinking about it that way is just, it's going to be an extremely impactful hero. And I love this design. I really wish this was actually more of like the starter deck hero. Like, I wish that Edda of the Depths was the Mountain starter hero, because I feel like this one is going to be one of the better Mountains meta heroes that is going to be out there. So, like, yeah, 4.5, solid cards, solid health. We've seen a lot of good heroes come out of it that are mountain oriented, like Granite. Granite was a great one. It's either Mountain or Crystal that you really wanted from the old sets. Like I said, I'm hoping that Fire pushes through in this next Kindred set, but just locations with Mountain, or not Mountain, with Earth and Crystal, having that ability is going to be amazing. I think it's going to do really well. 4.5, I cannot wait to see what people come out with this deck. I think that's going to be a really fun deck to build. Gem Forger Grand. 28 health, already kind of really low, like really low. 2 supremacies though, so that helps, especially the 2 good ones that were in the past. Like I said, I don't know what Kindred has really over fire, but these are the 2 best ones in my opinion that you want supremacy for. Can carry 1 additional point of items. You heal for 1 when you equip an item. Oh, guys, this makes me want to run just a deck of items. Like, because I mean, you can lay an item, and when you do, you have to pitch an item. So like, you can just keep cycling through your items, and when you lay one, you heal. And there's items out there that, like, okay, some are situational, some it's like, hey, I want to lay this item because I want to be more aggressive right now. Some I want to lay this item for a card draw. And you can equip 3 1-slotted items. And then it's, okay, I want to use this one, I need to start healing a little more. So I equip this one, heal for 1, use abilities, and just start healing. Like, this one, you don't even really want to build a deck to splash in different colors. You want to build a deck to splash in different items. And with all the fun new items that are coming out, I think this is going to be a great hero to just experiment. I want to say, for my rating, I want to give him like 2.5 to 3. He's right around the mid-range. He's got a solid ability, like, he's a fun archetype to build, but I don't really see him being competitive, even though he has double mastery, even though his ability sounds really fun. I think he's just going to be one of those heroes that people have fun with. People take him into casual, just toss a bunch of items in and see what they love to play. Like, he's an experimental hero. He's a fun hero that everyone's like, okay, what's going to happen now? I'm afraid of this. He's got like 16 items in his deck. What's going on? And I think he's just going to be a fun hero to have a lot of fun with, to utilize all these items that everyone's been getting. Items are one of the most common rares that I've found pulling in booster packs, just because there's so many of them right now, and all the items are rare. There's not like an uncommon one, there's not a common one, all of them are rare. So having that many new items being that, like, common, you get 1 in a pack, people are going to have a lot of items. So they're going to see this guy and go, wow, getting it, obviously, everyone's going to have, carry 1 additional coin of items. Cool. This one also gets benefits, so you heal whenever you equip an item, which means you're going to want to start laying item after item after item and just doing weird stuff with items. Cycling them into your deck, finding ways to bring them back, just all this weird stuff. I don't know what other cards have utilized other items in the past, or what you do with items, but it's like, dude, this guy could be really fun with. Like I said, I don't see him being competitive. He's right below 3. He's like a 2.5 for me, but I do really enjoy this card mechanic. I really do enjoy just the temptation to build a deck with like over 10 items in it. And I think that's one that I want to build on my stream, just for for the SOGs, the shits and giggles, to just kind of go off and see what people just see what works. Just try and make this hero work. Spend like an hour on it. Just be like, I want to see how many times I can win with this hero before I lose. And it's gonna be a 1-to-3 ratio. But he's a fun ability. I think he's not a good card, but he's not a card that's unplayable. I think he's just gonna be one of the fun heroes that you're gonna want to have fun with. So I cannot wait to try this guy out. I think it's gonna be a heck of a lot of fun. All right, Howlock the Founder, 31 health, solid. Crystal Mastery, love it. Before the start of the game, choose a location card from your deck. Start with that card in your hand. It does not increase your starting hand size. Then shuffle your deck. This guy, first of all, we've already seen what locations can do for that one hero. So you have two really good heroes competing for the location family, which is great. I don't want just one hero in one alignment that has major supremacy over an entire family, that if you play that family, you have to play this hero. I don't like seeing that. I want to see a lot of diversity. I want to see a lot of ingenuity and card swapping around there. For this one, I think this is an incredibly insane ability. Like, I don't know what many location cards are out there right now, but just the ones that have been, Mountain Fort, Colossi Ritual Site, like, just his ability alone, if you're in a standard constructed match playing 2 out of 3, and you're like, okay, he's playing Nature. I know Nature's a lot of poke damage and whatnot. Maybe I want to bring like a Mountain Fort in case it's aggro, so I'll start with a Mountain Fort in my hand. Turns out he's not aggro. Next time, start with Colossi Ritual Site. You go aggressive. You start with the card that benefits your playstyle in your starting hand, as opposed to, okay, I have 3 copies in my deck, I draw 4 cards, so we're down to 32 cards. There's like a 1 in 3 chance I draw the card like within these next turns and whatnot. Let's hope I draw it, and you just don't draw it. There's been times where you just don't draw the card you need. Having it be a location, build a very location heavy type deck. So there's a lot of really cool location benefits and stuff like that I have seen from Kindred, which I'm super excited about. But yeah, just literally being able to pick a card from your deck and start with it in your hand is going to be awesome. It's going to be an insane value to have. So I think this guy's a 4-star card. He's not right up there with the pitch damage because I don't know what archetypes are going to come out from Kindred with location. I don't know how strong it's going to be, how weak it's going to be. But I think he's a very solid hero ability that you literally you basically pick almost a little less than half your starting hand. Like you pick 1/4 to 1/5 of your starting hand, and just that alone is insane. Because yeah, there could be a card that is really good in a certain matchup that you just really want to make sure you draw. Giving the 100% guarantee that you draw it in your hand if it's a location is nuts. You're like, wow, okay, I'm always going to have to be on the lookout for that card every time at the beginning of the game because he's always going to lay it. Like, he's always going to have it, and it's always going to be like, well, I hope I have buff removal. It's always going to want to make me lay buff removal. Instead of saving it for mid-game or late game, I have to use it right now in the beginning because that card that he always takes to his hand is just so annoying. So I think this card is going to be 4-star card. Like I said, not quite as good as the other location one, but he's a solid card. Very solid abilities. 31 health, makes you want to play late game. He's going to be a card to look out for, a card you're going to see a lot on ladder, I think, for location stuff, especially if people who have looked more in the Kindred set than I have know what location is going to do, know how far it's going to spread. I think that just going off visibility alone, very solid card. All right, next one, Totemic. Earth alignment, solid. One of the better ones to have. 30 health, solid base. Ability, so it's an activated ability, so we'll see how it goes. Deal 1 damage to your target and heal for 1 if your last discarded card is an elemental. This cannot be increased by effects. I'm not too thrilled about this one. Like I said before, it's a 2-point swing for an ability. Not that beneficial. It is also conditional. Your top card of your discard pile has to be an elemental. So, I mean, for all I know, if there's not a really strong elemental build, or if there is one, I don't know how many times you're going to want to heal and deal 1 damage. I feel that the Fire Mastery with Elemental is going to be a lot better. Like Charro Knight is going to be a lot better than Totemic. Because Charro Knight, you don't have to activate an ability to do it. Totemic you do, which costs half of your turn. It's only 2 damage, 1 heal, 1 minus. So like if there's a lot of stuff that activates off you healing, which I don't know, could be beneficial. But essentially it's the same thing. Same thing. You deal 1, you heal 1. But you have to activate this one, as opposed to Charro Knight is just, I think it's, yeah, whenever you lay a fire card, you can pitch a buff, I think is what I said, is what it was. So it's like, pros and cons depending on if you have a lot of buffs or not. I feel like Mountain will have a lot of buffs. You're gonna have a lot of elemental stuff, so like it's just depending on. There's so many factors to depend on because it could be like if you want to use your activated abilities, like with Abyss Tentacles. You know, if you want to have an ability, cool. Use this one, deal one, heal one, all this fun stuff. You can activate if you heal this turn, if you deal damage this turn, yada yada yada. Mountain's always had a lot of really good cross cards to deal that. A lot of utilizing stuff where, like I said, if you heal for one, it increases your stuff. If you deal one, maybe it does something beneficial. So this card, I want to say it's a 2.5. I don't want to say it's a 3. He's right under 3. He's right under the solid baseline. He is a good filler card. 30 health, mountain alignment or earth alignment, solid. Obviously, he wants to be placed in an elemental deck, so maybe elemental for earth could be very good. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe elementals are strong in earth and not fire this time around, and you want an earth mastery in your elemental deck that has an ability to just, if you need that damage or you need that heal, go for it. You need that poke damage. You don't want to have your, it'll help get through mountain forts, all this sort of stuff. Perfect. But because it is an activated ability, that's why I lowered it below a 3 to a 2.5. Not knowing too much about the elementals within Crystal, within Mountain and Fire, within the whole Mountain, I keep saying Mountain, Earth and Fire, it's just one of those where I'm not sold on this card over the other ones. But I do think he's playable. It's not that he's unplayable. He is still playable in the right deck, but he doesn't have as much impact as some of the other cards that I have seen. That's my take on it. Take it or leave it. Yeah, I mean, if you pull him, great. I wouldn't spend shards on him. But maybe you have a really fun Earth Elemental deck that you want to run, and you need Earth Supremacy. And the other one, you don't have it because you have Fire, and you really want to use this one. That's where he's good. That's where he's solid for. Run it. For all I know, you may not even want to use his ability because you just want to keep playing Elemental cards, which in that case you could use a better Earth Supremacy card from Mythical Awakening. That's my take. Getting really thirsty, guys. One sec. Alright, on to the next one. I think this is the last one for Mountain. Tyrannos. Tyrannos. You cannot wield items. Well, first let's backtrack. Fire Supremacy. Like I said, I'm really hoping Fire does something really well because I want to build a Fire deck. I want to not just be limited to Mountain, Earth, and Crystal. I want to actually deal with Fire because Fire, I feel like, was a very underdeveloped aspect for tournament play, for a lot of other play in Awakening and Mythical. So I hope this Fire does really well. 32 health. Perfect. I love a good chunk of starting health for a deck that with Fire seems to want to be aggressive, so maybe it's not. I don't know. First off, you cannot wield items. I'm actually okay with that. I know there's a lot of new items that came out, but one of my friends, Chasm45, has told me that with restrictions, or with limitations, comes creativity, where you're not thinking on such a broad spectrum to build this deck in the most crazy way possible, but just to build a solid deck. So limit your card pool, limit all this stuff, and see what you can do with just a chunk of cards, and some crazy stuff will happen. I mean, don't think too broad, because that'll take you 2 hours to build a 30-minute deck. So you never know. So this one I think is fine. Have a hero like that in every set where they can't wield items, give that limitation, and see just what comes out of that one alignment. Ability, remove one of your elemental buffs to heal for 4. Okay, I really like that, especially with Fire, with how aggressive Fire is. All of its elemental stuff. Fire, like I said, has always led to me to want to be aggressive. Fire is all your Dragon Scorcher, it's all your stuff that you push for damage, you just consistently do this stuff. So having it be a card where you can remove it and get healing out of the cards that have already dealt damage could be really good, especially for Fire, because when you load up your deck full of Fire cards, you want all those cards to deal damage. So having just an ability that's consistently out there, cannot be removed, to keep healing you is just really good. Cassilia in Nature is actually the only hero that I know that is banned from drafts, because her ability to discard a card to heal for 4 is so good at keeping you in the game that you just cannot die. You just outlast your opponent, which is why it's banned. So basically having that hero with a slightly bigger limitation on it on another hero is going to be amazing. It makes you want to play elementals. So it's one of those where you build an elemental deck around this hero with Fire Mastery, and then it just removes buff to heal for 4. That's going to be nuts. I think that's going to be a great ability. I think this is already a 4-star card out of all of them, which is nuts because like that's a lot of really good cards out of one order that I've already reviewed. This one is just it's a solid ability. Heal for 4. You're limited to only sticking with Mountain, which is completely fine. I've built limitation decks that are beautiful. Fire Mastery, awesome. It makes me want to play Fire. I haven't done a whole lot of Fire. There's a lot of cool Fire cards that came out with Mythical that just didn't see a whole lot of play. I mean, there was Flame Chain Warrior, there was Flame Chain Elder, there was the Molten Swimmer, the fish. And it was like, there's not a lot of good Fire buffs. So like, I have a lot of high hopes that Fire is just going to blow up in Kindred, and we're going to see a lot of these really cool Fire heroes step into the spotlight, really start shining. And I do think with this card, he's going to see a lot of fun in a limited Mountain only Elemental deck, and I think that's going to be great to see, because Elementals, like I said, have been spanned across several alignments, but with an ability like his to heal for 4. Really bringing that restriction down doesn't feel like it's that limited, because with the ability that powerful, you're like, wow, that's really good. Like, I'm okay with just sticking with Mountain. Like, Mountain's a strong order as it is. Getting that heal with all of your fire damaging cards, I think it's a really solid card. So I'm going to give him a 4-star. I think I'm going to see a lot of him on ladder, even in casual play, just because he's good. He's a good card. Has high health, good mastery, strong ability. You don't feel like you're using half your turn to do nothing. It's damage and heal. And it's even like a remove a buff that was going to expire anyway, so it's just good. It's a really strong ability. I really like abilities like this where they don't feel dead when you use them. All right, that's it for the Mountain Order. We're going on to Nature next. So